What is up, guys? BboneCapone back with another one-on-one coaching session. I'm here with Zach, who's a widow one trick, more or less, right, Zach? Okay, I'm gonna turn you up a little bit, just because you're really quiet. Talk again for me. There we go. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna be going through his gameplay here on Numbani. This is actually a really good widow map. I like this widow on this map. And okay. Yeah, the last point's the only spot where I think widow becomes very, very hard to use if you don't snowball. Yeah, it's a really tough spot. So we're gonna go through. Sound's gonna be muted. I know throughout this game you make a lot of callouts and stuff on like people you just body shot, which is good. The one thing when you're doing that, like, try and give like some sort of location for people to be looking for to help them. So I'm gonna skip all of this because so as you're coming to this team, you guys have 4 DPS, 1 healer, 1 tank. Not ideal, but that's solo queue. You were getting some picks, so it's okay. Like, you were getting effective use out of the widow, so then it's okay. And like, you guys played them up well. So right off the bat, you get a nice pick. Like, your team's pushing. You get 2 really nice shots. That's like pretty much this point's already won. You clean up the mercy, which is good. So now, like right now, ignore everything else. If you're watching the kill cam, they're down 5. They only have 1 left. Oh, I just skipped ahead. Oh, this is awkward. I keep pressing side buttons on my mouse, and it like skips everything. And then it's like just a mess. Okay, so you killed the Ryan, or all that's left is Ryan. Ryan's over there somewhere with his big shield. You're not gonna be able to kill him. Your team can clean that up right away now. Like, you're only looking this way. You should be camping this door or sightlining this because you can snowball this and stagger them. And because you're kind of flicking back and forth, you're like, oh, the Ryan's still there. So then you flick back and forth a couple times. Like, see right there, and then you miss that shot. That's a free kill on that soldier, and then that staggers that soldier, because you guys just secured payload, soldier would still be dead. And that's a stagger right there. So, just adjusting when you know the point's taken, and you can start snowballing, because something Widow's really good at is snowballing from point to point and picking up late spawns. So you call out this swap to a Widow. So you have the advantage. That was, yeah, you got out snipe there, that happens. Yeah, so now you know they have a Widow, though. You have the advantage as the attacking Widow, always, because you can change your position a lot easier, and there's a lot more places you can attack from. So you want to come into this, you use wall hacks. Well, throughout this, I noticed you use your wall hacks kind of randomly, and I know, like, a lot of people who play Widow, they, like, watch Kefri and stuff, and he literally uses wall hacks, like, the second that they come up. And I'm of the mind of I don't agree with that. I try and use my wall hacks in spots. Like right now, like wall hacks don't really do your team much because you know where their whole team is. You guys are in the middle of a fight. It doesn't really add any value. I like using wall hacks at the beginning or just before fight starts to see where the team's coming in from. So you don't really get a lot of value out of a wall hack like this because you already know. So you're trying to push up here. Your team's getting some kills, so you can push up here, and this is a good spot to be right now. You get a really nice pick on the Mercy. Finish off that. Easy peasy, good. So like right now, like once again, right? You're looking to stagger spawns. So you should be going cross. Okay, you do. You go right up there. And you're looking for spawns again. So you think their Widow might be up here. You check your flank. That's fine. You see Reinhardt. You want so okay. So you see Reinhardt, you ignore him. Yeah. Yeah. So you know the Reinhardt's there. You know he's gonna come up. You have the time to take 1 shot here. Yeah. You miss your shot. And you needed to dip out. And the triggered comes up too. You even get the triggered. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. Like this is map awareness. And on Widow, heroes like Widow, where it's a lot of mechanical, your map awareness needs to be really astute. So you kill him, you're triggered, and guys, like you know where that mine is. You know there's someone behind you. You should be dropping right down below to where your team is, down to the left, and you're fine. That's okay. Yeah, not quite paying attention, and Reinhardt's gonna smack you in the back. Yeah. Yeah, so And that's going to happen in solo queue a lot. Like, people are going to fight 5v6 all the time. That's, like, standard. So you guys are down 2. Like, right now, like, when you're on your way back, guys, always watch this. Like, don't look anywhere else. Just stare at the kill cam as you walk back. Because that'll decide whether you want to try and push up and see if you can turn the fight, or whether you want to completely reset. Because you guys are down 2 right now. And you guys are kind of poking and fighting at the choke still when, like, everyone should be running away. Like, you're looking for picks here. You're pretty safe. But once again, right, like, you pop wall hacks. And right now you're alone. Like, you're completely alone. You see 4 here. There's 2 off to your left. And you're focused on taking out their Widow. Which is, like, good and bad. Because you lose effectiveness as Widow when you get to, what's the word? Oh my god, I'm blanking. I'm sorry. Tunnel vision. There we go. You get way too tunnel vision on that Widow, right? And that really, really hurts you because you're so tunnel visioned on the Widow. Yeah. So you kill the Widow, which is good, but you get murdered. Mercy kind of saves you there. Yeah, you guys are full, and that's... So, yeah, and this is the thing with Widow, right? And this is where last point becomes really, really hard. And this is why I believe as soon as you die going into last point, you should come off Widow. Because where the cart is right now, which is right behind you, if you look at their team, they've got 1, 2, and there's 4 people behind you. Right? And as Widow, you're trying to sightline in here, but you're exposed to the people behind you. You have no way out. Well, you have your grapple up. But you have no way out of this. You're focused on one side of a fight, and Widow's most effectiveness comes from picks and reducing sightlines that the enemy team can use. Which right now, you're not reducing sightlines, you're just looking for kills. You get a nice shot there, and like, okay. Yeah. And that's a huge focus that you're going to have to work on, right? Is like adjusting. So I like this. Everyone's fighting. It's starting to move up. You've chosen to stay on Widow. You're looking for a shot in the back. And this is actually good on Widow on this point if you're stuck here. Because now, okay, so they pop barrier. They see you. You want to run. You drop mine behind you, right? No, the mine was fine. Okay, so why is it not showing? Okay. Because I watched this and someone hit your mine. Your mine goes off. Which is why I don't like what you did here. Your mine goes off here and you're not paying attention to it, and it kills you. So you drop mine. Okay, they destroy your mine. The sound's not on, guys, so you can't hear this, but it actually says whatever it says when Widow's mine's destroyed. She says something. So that's an audio key that someone's there now. Like, they shot the mine, so someone's over there. Someone is behind you right now. Yeah, and instead of looking for that, you tunnel vision in here, and you get your face rolled. So yeah. By that point, it's too late. Like, because if you know they're coming there, and like you scope the corner, you can pop that soldier when he pops visor, and just like nullify the visor instantly. So once again, you're staying on Widow, and I'm still not sure about this. I think that a swap would be really helpful because this is really hard for Widow to get in and find an effective sightline. Because that top bridge is not really useful here. Yeah, like this is where you need to switch. Like right now, okay, so you actually just tabbed your team comp, so I want to show that. There's so you tabbed your team comp, and like so you guys have had 2 pushes now where you haven't really found effectiveness on Widow, and your team hasn't been able to push. So like, what do you think your team needs right now instead of a Widow? Fair enough. Out of the heroes you do play, what do you think would be a good swap for you? Lucio would be okay. So Okay. There's two real options here. I actually don't think Lucio would be a good option here because you don't have anything that's going to use Lucio's speed boost. Like, Junkrat, he kind of just runs around. Winston's going to jump. Soldier's playing back, and he has a lot of self-peel, and Tracer's flanking. The Lucio would be helpful to peel for your Mercy, so that would be the one spot that it would help you, but other than that, you don't really get a lot of value out of the Lucio, because you're not really going to be able to use the speed boost to boost anyone in. Junkrat's staying back, and so is Soldier. No one's really boosting in with you that's really going to get any value out of the speed boost. So, like, Ana would have been fine, Zen would be good, any tank would be helpful as well, like either of the above. Yeah, and it's just, having the front line just to survive and just, like, create the fights longer would help you so much. You stay on the Widow, so Reinhardt's chilling up there. Okay. Yeah, you did call it, and I know you did. And yeah, the Reinhardt just shatters. You guys are still up, so once again, the walls, right? Like, you're using wall hacks, like, mid-fight, when we kind of know where everyone is, and you're not really getting the value out of the wall hacks. Wall hacks are really good for early on in fights. That was a good shot. And then this happens. So this like that play in itself, for me, I would be off Widow at this point. If I miss that many shots, that's where I'm like, okay, it's time for me to get off the Widowmaker. Yeah, so you got a nice pick there on the Mercy, which is good, but you still haven't killed the Lucio. But yeah, so the fight, the flanking Soldier again comes through, and you guys are dead. So Junkrat calls group up. You guys need to reset. And we're not going to talk anymore about you swapping because you decided to stay on Widow. It is what it is. That's fine. And we'll talk about what you need to do, how you can work with that Widow and make it work. So now you guys have a Bastion. It's actually not bad on this point because there's a long enough sightline for Bastion. So I don't mind it. But you guys are going in split already. Like, the Reinhardt goes up and you guys go low. Yeah. So now your wall hacks have, like, some value, except the Rhino was already dead as you pop them, so that's SOL. But, like, they would have been a good spot. Yeah, that's a practice thing that, you know, as when you play a lot of Widow, that's something you need to be able to hit, is those timing frames as they peek corners. Yeah. So you know there is two. You guys are doing okay. You're up, or you're even right now. Now you guys are down 2. And, you know, you're kind of in this awkward spot because Widow, you're not fine. You have no effective line of sight right now. You can't zone anyone's line of sight, and there's not really a lot of value you're getting out of the Widow at this point because you need to, I would almost be saying looking for a flank there because you need to force line of sight that they can't peek, right? Once again, awareness, someone's off to your left right now. Yeah, okay, you do see it, and you rotate around to it. But then you guys managed to turn the fight and win the round. That last section, like, the Widow, yeah, you didn't get much done on the Widow there. Your positioning, and this comes back to the same thing with Widow, is that you have 2 to 3 spots you can really go, and, you know, all 3 spots you couldn't really get effective shots off. So we go into the defensive round. You're feeling the Widow, you're staying on the Widow on defense. And Widow can work on defense here. First point. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. My, yeah, that's fine. So this is greedy. And so so you get the kill, which is good. So they're at a stagger. But the thing you don't respect is the Winston, right? Like, your grapple's down, you have no defenses up. Yeah, and you wait here, and you take, like, another shot. Like, yeah, you get another kill, but you're instantly dead here. That's definitely a spot. Like, when you want to play that far up on Widow, so you use grapple, you want to play up, right? Like, you want to look for early picks on Widow here, on one of the targets or something over here. And that's fine. The problem with playing up here right now is you have no cooldowns, right? Yeah, okay, my drawing just died on me. So yeah, because you don't have the grapple up or anything, you have no escapes from when the Winston jumps. So, overstayed. Luckily, you got a pick before you died, so you slowed down their push, and Numbani's a very forgiving first point. So, yeah, you got away with it, and like it's a fairly forgiving map for dying early if you trade. So you're coming back into the fight. Winston's murdering your team. You fall off, like so right here. You fell off the ledge, and like the Winston's. So that's a focus thing on Widow, right? Is like knowing your positioning well scoped, because you're super vulnerable right now because you're just sitting down here, right? And the Genji comes on you. Luckily, Farah comes and saves you. Yeah, you should be. You go back to pick up your Mercy, which is fine. She's got Farah though. So you're getting back on high ground. Once again, right? Grapple cooldown. You need to be careful. You're playing more passive, which is good here. And you want to look for the early pick. They know you're there though, so like right here, you can think about. Yeah, my drawing thing just died. Give me whatever. You know what? We're gonna go without drawings. You have two options. You know, everyone knows you're here, so you can either stay here and try and fight with everyone looking at you, or you can rotate to a new position, which is either back, behind, down to the far side of the platform, or actually go to the right side and try and get a sneaky pick off the right as they try and come up the stairs. But that's something you need to make sure you're doing, especially on like an immobile here, like Widow. Hanzo has the same thing. Junkrat's the same to an extent. Is like changing positions to create pressure of the team not knowing where you are. Yeah, that was a good kill. So you have grapple, you fail the grappling hook, and you're should be dead. Oh, you don't die. Okay, never mind. You should have died there, but yeah, like you fall, you. Oh, okay. Yeah, that helps. Yeah, so and you can't rely on that, right? Like you need to understand your positioning and the value. Like the value of Widow on this first point right now still. So like let's talk about that for a sec. So like what do you consider the value of defensive Widow on this first point?
Well, the way that I've always done it is kind of like this. Like if we're backed up and we're on the point, then you try to keep a distance and try to get one shots. But basically, what my goal is to get an early pick, get our team to push up, and just we're trying to snag this early picks.
Okay, so you,
It's not a safe way to win. It's a very aggressive game. If I screw up on getting those early picks, especially if I lose a puck, just their team comes in 5 and 6.
okay, so you understand the risk reward of the playstyle, so that's good. And that's not a bad way to play with on this point because there's a lot of forgiveness. The other way you can look at it is that you can play more back, like back to the back right of you, and just cover that main entrance line of sight that they have to be very careful coming down that entrance, and if they want to jump on you, they have to overextend to get to you, because it's a very long way that they have to jump, like the Winston, for example, and the Genji, to get up there to get to you. Without proper team coordination, it's a very hard spot to dive. So that can be a little more safer, that can give you lines of sight. But you are holding and like you're trading always, so it's working. Exactly, right? And you have to remember, you can't always rely on teams. So this comes back to tunnel vision. I'm noticing this more whenever they have a Widow, you tunnel vision on the Widow. Like that Genji jumps on you, and you just ignore the Genji with the Dragon Blade. But you get the Mercy Res to save you. This is where it gets chaotic, right? So you're in this chaotic fight now as Widow, and you're not in a spot where you know where their team is. You don't know where the team is. You don't know where anything is. You're kind of just swiveling around, and you get popped because of it. Like, at that point, you need to back up and find a new line of sight that keeps you safe, that you can't get hit from a side you don't see. But yeah, so you end up dying there. You guys lose point. You need to back off if you miss this shot. You can take one shot here maybe, but they know you're there. You miss, you should be backing away. Because you guys are down in numbers right now. Yeah, this is... I would not challenge this. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, it's done. Just done, but my team rolled up. And normally I don't snipe from where I am, but my team's pushing super hard.
Yeah, you have to use Widow's advantages. Like, Widow's bit advantage is creating sightline pressure, right? And creating it so they have to be careful going into open sight lines, otherwise they might lose their head. And this is fine right now to play this aggressively because your team's all the way up here, and like you have support if they try and dive you. The point you need to be careful of is, well, that's just unlucky. I didn't even see the Widow. But, you know, you have to be careful of the point where did the mercy changes not go through? I've been so confused with that. I thought the mercy changes already went through. Oh, only the Roadhog ones did.
This spot is
Okay. Well, my bad. My patch notes are all messed up because I thought that was a change that had already gone through. So you're backing up, waiting for your team. And, like, right now, you should be looking at Tob and, like, their team comp, your team comp. Like, what could they be coming at you with? You know you use Grav. You know you're down on ults. Like, you should be tabbing to see what else your team has, what else they could have, what possible change to the team comp you guys need, right? Instead, you're just kind of, well, Farrah just gets staggered super hard, so that really hurts you.
they had pop walls, so I called her
Well, you can't control teammates, right? Only yourself. But once again, like, you guys are still 5v6 and you're pushing, right? Like, this is a phase in streets where you only get maybe one regroup. So you can't stagger. Like, you need to try and get your team. Like, once again, you know, you're ignoring the Genji that's in your face and trying to play aggressively. And if you can trade that, it works. If you don't get the trade, then you lose. Like, your team loses out, right? So you need to find the balance of, do I focus the person that's on me? And this applies to a lot of heroes. Like, this applies to Ana. I use Ana as an example for this as well. It's like, so I play a lot of Ana, and I'll sleep a Tracer that's behind my team, and I need to make a choice. Do I try and 1v1 the Tracer that I've slept and keep myself alive, or do I go and heal my team in the fact that I know that the Tracer's going to come back and kill me? So it's a trade-off you have to think about. And then one other thing, that was a nice shot. Okay. So you play a very high risk-reward style of Widow. And that's okay. Like, that's not a bad way to play Widow. It's a play style, right? And that's the thing, is that if you want to play that style, you have to hit those clutch shots. There's no missing shots anymore at that point, because you are, you know, if you miss that shot, you're now dead and you're useless. So this time you're playing more safe and choosing to fight the Genji, which is doable, except when he blades, and yeah, you're very dead. Yeah, and like, so you're still looking at their team, right? And you've decided you're staying on Widow no matter what, pretty much. They have Widow, McCree. They have two people that can dive you, so you should be safe. But the one way you can try and avoid this is, I would almost say, like, hiding for short periods of time, if that makes sense. And what you want to do at that time is make it so the Genji and the Winston change their focus. Because right now you're losing value in the fact that you're losing the 1v1. So it's 1-for-1, you were getting pocketed by your Mercy, so it's 1v2 and you're losing the 1v2. So your team's at a 5v6, or a 5v4, if you want to look at it that way, right? Genji versus you and Mercy, and you're losing, so they have an advantage for the rest of their team. And so you need to try and create it so that if you're going to trade or get into 1v1s, that you're trading a 1v1. Not that you're, you know, trading and then losing, right?
Oh, yeah, I realized that was not good Sombra mobility. Just threw my teleporter.
Yeah, that was, yeah, that's not, but this is stall tax now, right? Like, I'd be going to, like, Sombra's here, May, anything like that. Those are all fine. Yeah, and that's, yeah, so you decide to go back. So now, like, so you're looking at this. So I know the Widow's there, whatever. we're looking at this situation now, right? What do you need to do? They have 1 minute, so they have one solid push. What can Widow do at this specific point that can pretty much guarantee the win?
I would at first try to kill that widow, and I guess probably grapple whatever it's at.
And look for an early pick. Yeah. And that's a situation where that's a Widow specific thing. But yeah, that's where you need to make the call, play that aggressive style to try and make that early trade. Right? Yeah, and
This way, which is just the worst side.
yeah, you're very vulnerable.
I went that right side. It's super smart.
The other thing is that when you're playing Widow v Widow battles, if she hits the first shot on you, you lose. Because then you're relying on a headshot and they can hit a body shot. Yeah, so once you lose the first shot, you always need to back off as Widow and play more defensive. So now you did get it, but she's getting pocketed as well. So you need to, yeah, like she's eating a pocket right now, and that's not a battle you'll win. Like that's an ego thing you're trying to do there, right?
I was about to say I have way too much pride in this fight.
And I understand that. Like I have a Widow account. I know how it is. You want to win the straight up 1v1s. Like I'm a better Widow, but you also need to play smart, right? On any hero, it's about smart play and finding the effective use of said hero. And like I said, like I'm talking a lot about your Widow play here, but you can apply this to any hero. You can go and whatever hero you're playing, be like, okay, what can my hero do to give us an advantage in the upcoming fight or in the next segment? What can I do to change it, right? And that's not just Widow. So you pop walls here because you're gonna die and they're running out of time. That's whatever. But so your team looks like they're even anyway. Like I think you should be switching off to like something that you can just get out fast. Well, I guess Widow gets out pretty fast with grapple, so I can't really say that.
Yeah, I would have probably stayed with it regardless if I saw it.
Yeah, that's fine. And so you guys clean it up and you win. So, not too bad. Like the one thing that's different, like you're playing the Widow style of your. There's two ways you can play the game. There's the I play the game and I out-mechanics my opponent and I win games like that. So that's that risk-reward style that you're playing of Widow, is that I out-mechanics my opponent and I win that way. The other way which you can play Widow and many other heroes is more of a game sense and forcing sight lines, right? And creating so that you almost play Widow like a what is it? Wait, is this? Oh my god, this is what I was looking for. Well, rip. Anyway. So you're playing Widow almost in the style of, if someone wants to come kill me because I'm a Widowmaker and nobody likes me, and I'm putting pressure on their healers, they have to overcommit for me. So even if I die to them, my team is still at a 5v5, and they're probably missing a main tank or flanker or both. So my team should win the extended fight, is the logic behind it, right? So there's the other side of Widow in playing her in that aspect and that style. Yeah, you play the mechanical style, but you need to be starting to think about game sense, especially if you want to climb higher, because once you get past GM, mechanics don't... You need more than mechanics, right? And you have to... Yeah, and that will happen, and looking at your gameplay, I kind of expected that, is that going from low DM to top 500 GM is night and day. Well, not night and day. There's still the odd top 500 that's just mechanically gifted, but usually they have a combination of mechanical gifts to go with game sense, and they understand what they need to do. So when you want to play Widow or change heroes, like, what does this hero need to do to win the fight? It may not be the best choice. You know, you might not have the best choice. Widow might not have been the best choice there, but you chose to play it, so, and that's what you enjoy playing, and that's fine. At that point, it now becomes, what does this hero need to do to win the fights that I need to do, right? So that's like the last thing I'll leave you with, is focus on your game sense and positioning and what your job is when you play Widow or whatever the hero is to make that adjustment.
Yeah, definitely. Focus on being smart because, yeah, like you said, once I get the high master legends here, I can just, like, for one, everybody's so good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly, and that's the that's the trade-off you need to decide, and that'll come because like your mechanics are there, and it becomes much easier to focus on the mental side of it and your positioning, your game sense when your mechanics are almost an autopilot thing that you can do, and your mechanics will just come. And what I would say is that I would almost say that you might miss some more shots and be a little bit off on your mechanics to get your game sense to a point where it's natural and you don't have to think about it. You just do these game sense style things like checking your corners, adjusting positioning, knowing what you need to do on that widowmaker to win the next fight, and creating that that habit, right? And then your mechanics you can focus on again, and then your more headshots will come. You can focus solely on mechanics because everything else is second nature to you, right? Cool. Yeah, no, it helps a lot, and that's a huge thing that like people often talk about. Oh, I watch my own gameplay and I don't get anything out of it. It's because they're not looking for it. Watching your own gameplay is a huge way to get better at the game because you learn and get better. Like even if I am streaming or whatever, I'll go back, watch the stream, watch my game, see what I did well, see what I did poorly, and just kind of see for myself. Yeah. I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, everyone who came by and watched. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't. If you dislike the video, give it a dislike. Leave a comment if you like. I read all the comments. Any feedback of any sort is always appreciated. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.